Dude, Wilson's. The shit I have been through in the last 8 months to a year. I want to yell it. I want to scream it from the freaking rooftops. But at the same time, shoes just keep dropping. Shit just keeps happening. And so I want to wait until the end of the story to be able to tell it all. I'm tired of bits and pieces, and I just want to fucking move forward, really. I just want to move on to happy and healthy and loving life. I'm tired of being around toxic, miserable people, places, and things. I'm just so fucking tired of it. And I'm trying to share what I've created. But the problem with that is that it's showing what I created and talking about how I created it, why I created it, how I came up with it is so intertwined with my story, with my testimony. And I know that I'm supposed to share it, and I know that I'm supposed to use it to help people, and I will. I just can't right now for certain reasons. One, because there's so many freaking details, it's impossible to put into one video. And there's so much that it's confusing. It's hard to put into verbal words. So I'm going to write a book about it. I am writing a book about it. But I don't know the ending yet. So I can't finish it. And I just want to move on. And I'm trying my very best with everything that I've gone through to maintain, keep my grace, keep my sovereignty, keep my integrity. But the only way I'm going to be able to move on is to share what I've built, what I've created, what God showed me, the lessons that the Creator designed for me to learn. And I think that instead of telling about all the bad shit that's happened to me, I'm just going to tell you the lessons that I learned. So I'm going to try and not put any characters in it because I don't want no retaliation. I already know the links at which these people will go to. And I don't want to deal with any more bullshit. But I refuse to stay in this fucking cycle. I refuse to stay bound and held down and controlled. So I'm going to speak the truth that happened to me and the decisions that I made. And if you're sad or upset or pissed off that somebody can figure out who you are because they know the situation, I don't know what to tell you. Those were your decisions. So we all played a part here. So I was working at this company, billion-dollar company, and they didn't start. They had always been doing this, but it had started getting to me at the fact that they were purposely making us clock out at our scheduled time, but then we would work over that, however long it took to get the things done we needed to get done. And I let it go for a while, wanting to be a team player and getting through the busy season and all of that. But then it got to the point where it's like, this is illegal, Like, there's minors that work there. And it's wrong. It's wrong. They make plenty of money to be able to pay us that little bit of extra, And with everything that I had going on with my life, I was just like, I'm not going to freaking do it no more. I'm tired of being used and abused by everyone and everything. So I purposely stopped clocking out on time. They had changed the system, so we didn't have to go and clock out all at the same spot. So I don't know if they knew or not. I wasn't saying anything. I just was clocking out when I left work. I wasn't doing anything over. I was taking my time like I deserved. Well, in the middle of this, I also was dealing with a custody battle with my children's father. And very toxic situation. And I was in the middle of that and the work situation when I had a medical emergency. I was at work and I started hurting really bad, cramping really bad. And I thought that I was on my period, but I was bleeding really weird. And I asked a girl that I worked with if she knew anybody who had a miscarriage. And because I didn't, if anybody around me had one, they never said anything. It's not something that anybody wants to talk about. So I was in a lot of pain. They were trying to figure out, but I had to leave. I was in so much pain, I had to leave. So I went home and I thought, okay, maybe I'm just having a really bad period, because I was having protected adult interactions, and obviously it could still happen, but I didn't think that was the case at first. But something inside me told me that it was. And so I ended up going to the ER because the pain got so severe. It felt like a pole was like going through my insides every time I would go to sit down. Like it literally, I was like in tears. And I can handle a lot of pain, but it was intense. And the whole time at the ER, I'm standing because I couldn't sit. I'm standing waiting to go into triage. I'm standing waiting to finish, the urine sample. I'm waiting to do all that until I get a bed so that I can lay down. I even stood going to do the ultrasound and everything because it hurt too bad to sit down. So basically, I went through all the tests and everything, and I was sleeping because I had been in pain for I don't know how long at that point. And the doctor came in and basically told me that I had inflamed intestines, intestinal colitis, and that it was from severe exercise, or could be from severe exercise. But I told him, I was like, I don't work out, I work, but that's it, like. And he just basically just blew me off, and I was really upset. So the discharge nurse that came in, I told her that he was a terrible doctor and didn't help me, wouldn't listen to me. And she told me, yeah, he's known for having a bad bedside manner. So they only give me 3 days off of work. And my mom was leaving for a retreat that weekend. So nobody at work would cover my shift. Even if I could have gone in, even if I could have gotten my mom to stay, I was in too much pain. And I've been working for this place, doing everything they wanted, until I told them it was too much. And I didn't just start doing it, you know. I did talk to the communications manager, the HR or whatever. We were actually friends. Actually gave them a ride a lot. Willingly, freely, because I wanted to. So I ended up losing my job. I don't know if I quit or they let me go or I don't know what the heck happened. I told them what happened and they were like, okay. And I'm like, okay then. You know, I was going through so much at that point. I was dealing with custody issues where they were forcing me to put my child back into a school where she was being bullied to the point that she wanted to kill herself. And I chose, as her guardian, to legally homeschool her. I did everything that I was supposed to do, was meeting all the requirements to homeschool her, because I didn't have a car to take her to a different district, to a different school. And the bus that was going to the schools was the one that had one of her bullies on it. So they were trying to force me to put her back into that school because I refused to do that, and because I refused to let them give their father back full unsupervised visitation after having supervised visitation before. And they wouldn't listen to me about the situation that I was in and all the things that I had gone through, the harassment, the violence. And I'm still scared to talk about it because he sent a cop to my house yesterday. The second welfare check on my kids. And both times, everything has been fine. My kids are fine. I would never hurt my kids. I've never ever had any reason or any accusation or proven accusation of neglect. He's the only one that's freaking trying to say that. I would never hurt my kids. My kids would never said that I've hurt them. In fact, they cry and beg and plead to come and live with me again. But because he took everything from me, because I wasn't married. If I would have been married, I would have won everything. And it didn't matter that he broke the door in front of them. Didn't matter that he admitted to having anger issues at both court jurisdictions, in both courts. It hasn't mattered. They won't listen. The freaking ad litem that is supposed to be helping my children make sure they're safe and in the right home is just lying. And I have proof that they're lying. But I'm under an NDA with them too. And then the court threatened me that if I stood up for why I was in contempt, why I refused to put my kid back into the same school, and why I refused to give him custody, that they were going to put me in jail and give him custody anyway. And I fought and fought and fought. Not fought, but, you know, I tried to do the right thing. I tried. everything I could to keep them safe, because I knew this is what was going to happen. I knew it was. This is what he would threaten me all the freaking time. Which is why I wanted to leave. And this is why my teeth look like this. And you can't see, but I have spots all over my legs that they say is hair folliculitis, but it gets worse and then goes away and comes back, and it's, I believe that it's because of my nervous system being so fucking damaged. Because yeah, I smoke, but this isn't from smokers, being a smoker. I've known plenty of smokers, even my grandma who smoked didn't have teeth like that. And her teeth were fake. No, mine is damage. Damage. And everybody keeps saying, oh, don't be a victim, don't cry, don't be emotional, don't be stoic, keep it together. Well, fuck y'all. Honestly, fuck everybody who keeps telling me that. I am keeping it together. And still not turning into a shitty fucking person. And I built something fucking beautiful, and I want to fucking talk about it. I want to move on from all this shit. But it keeps happening. It keeps fucking happening. I'm just tired. And the thing is, I ain't done nothing. I've never retaliated. I've only tried to protect myself and my kids. The job used me and abused me. The hospital misdiagnosed me. And then I lost my house because the landlord hated all the back and forth between my child's father and I. Come to find out, she was talking behind my back with him anyway. It's so funny people think that I'm so freaking dumb because I'm nice. I know what y'all do. I let you do it to prove who you are. So I'm not just making shit up. It's who you are. It's what you did. I don't want to have rage for these people. I don't hate these people. All of them. But anyway, back to the story. So, I was at work in a lot of pain, went to the hospital. Ended up losing my children, my house. I lost one of my animals. My oldest animal passed away just suddenly. I was stalked, still stalked. And when I lost my house, I ended up moving into a shed in my mom's backyard. For multiple reasons, because everything that I had been through, I just needed to be alone. I just want to be alone. I don't want to be around any negativity, any drama. And I love my family to death, but it's just too much for me sometimes. So I've just been keeping to myself a lot here lately. And so I moved into the shed. But I was still working. I was still doing everything I was supposed to be doing, trying to get my kids back, trying to rebuild my life. But I was still in pain and still bleeding a lot. And then one night, I thought I was on my period. And I got up to go to the bathroom. And blood just started gushing out of me. And then I heard a plop. And then another plop, because I had a tampon in. TMI, sorry. And there was a sack, a small sack in there. And the thing is, the whole time, I have been getting messages, signs and synchronicities, random videos popping up about pregnancy and pregnancy loss. During Bible study, I would flip to random pages and look at verses, read verses, and I kept getting to pages with babies or losing babies, children. And I thought that I was pregnant. I took multiple pregnancy tests. They all came back negative. And so I just thought, okay, maybe it's just all the stress that I'm under. Maybe it's just all the crap that was happening. I mean, shit, that's what the doctor was saying, basically. I ended up having a miscarriage. I predicted my own miscarriage and I didn't know it. And then new messages started. So when I was back at my old house, before I lost my house and moved into the shed, I was like what I called mad scientist mode, where basically I was just following my intuition. I was hurting so bad that I couldn't work. I had lost my job and I was about to lose my house, so I wasn't going to be able to stay where I was at. My mom lives 3 hours away from there, so there was no point in me going and getting a job there, and I couldn't work anyway. And that's the thing, it's not just my teeth, it's not just the spots on my legs. I also have terrible carpal tunnel, cubital tunnel. It's in my neck and my shoulders. It's my nervous system. My nervous system can't handle any more of this bullshit. It's been going on for over a decade, and I just can't do. My physical body can't do it anymore. I've lost so much weight unintentionally. I try to eat, I try to keep up with everything, but my body's not absorbing nutrients. I've been trying to do the things. I tried that freaking sea moss gel. Absolutely the fuck not. I mean, if anybody else has recipes or like something you can put it in to where it's not so slimy, maybe I could do it, because the taste ain't bad. The texture, I can't do that. And that's the thing, is I used to eat so much food. I used to eat like a freaking grown man. But my stomach has shrank so much because of all the stress that I literally can't. If I force myself to eat, I throw up. I'm trying so hard. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna do it. So anyway, when I was back at my house, I was in mad scientist mode. And I was just Bible study and meditation and just really in hermit mode, really focused on healing and like which way to go next. Because I was a stay-at-home mom, and that was our agreement. That's what we wanted, or I thought. And so I had already built up that relationship where my kids were with me all the time, and they had extra needs. They were both speech delayed, and both have ADHD just like I do. My oldest has dyslexia just like I do, and so I was trying to help them as much as I could, but fighting against the other parent, the whole freaking time. And I was just trying to find my new path, what I was supposed to do, because I was a stay-at-home mom. And so I didn't have all the experience I had before becoming a stay-at-home mom. Was like fast food and retail and warehouse, and because of my arms, I can't do all that. I could barely work at this place that I was working, carrying chip boxes and drink boxes. Like I was dropping stuff. I can barely carry a jug of tea. I can barely write. I can barely do anything anymore. I'm an artist. I create and I crochet, I paint, I draw, but I can't do any of that anymore without being in pain. And so I switched to digital art. I was like, okay, I'll find another way. I'll find another way to be creative. So I switched to digital art and I started making my stickers. Don't cry. Whew. So I started making my stickers, and I loved it. But then I was about to lose my house, and so I had to stop doing that for a while. And while I was in hermit mode and going through Bible study, and I was decoding the Bible. I was finding out what all the words meant and the true lessons behind all the stories. And I was introduced to other cultures and other religions and spiritual paths and so much information, just so much information. And I came across numerology, in which I had already known, I had talked about before, angel numbers. I had looked it up briefly. And the thing is, my mom is in the spiritual community. And so I have been introduced to that since I was like 12. But I never really got into it or grasped it or tried to learn more about it until I came across a part in the Bible where it was talking about divination. And I was like, but that comes from the word divine. Like, how is that bad? And plus, the Bible uses so much supernatural, spiritual stuff as well. So, like, how is that bad, right? And it just opened everything. I just started doing so much research. And I come to realize that all of them are basically the same. I mean, you just swap out the characters, you swap out the, certain parts of the events. It's basically the same story. The whole idea of spiritual paths and religion, and even regular books, fiction or nonfiction, either way, all stories, everything that we create, everything we write, every idea we have, one comes from the creator, the God, but also it's the same situation. You just switch out some of the variables. The lesson is to be morally good and kind, self-sacrificing, like to help others, that's the whole freaking point. We all know that the good guy wins in the end. Like in literally almost everything. People, who have darkness inside of them, try to tank that and make, villain stories and all this. But at the end of the day, we all know that the villain wants to be good. So it literally, to me, it's just, it's crazy. It's so insane and so magically beautiful. The creator who created everything, and I mean everything, the grass, the trees, the animals, us humans, every thought, every opinion, every action, every single thing, every molecule in this universe belongs to the creator. There's no way that multiple creators, multiple gods and goddesses could have created everything to work so seamlessly together. There's no freaking way that's just not logical. And we are created in his image, correct? So God makes mistakes. And you can believe me or not, but God told me this as if I'm his freaking therapist. It's therapist. It's a it. It's not really a he, but the dominant feature. I hate this fucking feminine and masculine shit. It's just dominant and recessive. That's all it is. It's not. I hate that. That's why, toxic masculinity and femininity fucking exist. Because people are so fucking consumed with who's better, and everybody's in freaking competition, all because they're freaking scared. Everything leads back to fear. Everything. Literally everything. And me too. I'm not exempt from this. I've been living in fear a lot. And God woke me up. Not this time. It wasn't this time. It wasn't when I had the miscarriage. It wasn't when I lost everything. It's been going on for years, and I didn't realize because I was so blind. So idiotically blind. Everything has a purpose. Everything has a reason. Everything works in sync for a reason. There's lessons in every single thing. And I realized this when my mom and I were driving back from dropping my kids off with their dad. And of course I was in my feelings. And we were driving by, and I was looking out the window, and I saw some trees, and there was a lot of them that were, why am I so crooked? Sorry guys. There was a lot of them that were like tall and then short and wide, and I was just like looking at them, and I was like, that's crazy how, even though they're in this, in the same area, they get the same kind of light, they get the same kind of water, they get all the same kind of things. They're at different points in their journey. They grow in different ways, in different directions. Even though we're built in a pattern, we all don't fit the pattern. It's so insane, but also so beautiful at the same time, that we are all one, but also unique at the same time. We're all made up of the same variables, plus or minus for whoever. There's one set of rules, and then we all have our own unique outlier, something that makes us different and special and unique, and that's our purpose. Because that's another thing I learned, is that every single thing, because everything works so seamlessly, and there are no coincidences. That means that everything that has happened in your life, everything you've witnessed, everything you've learned, everything you've done is a key to what you're supposed to be doing in your life. And I think the main reason why so many people shy away from this knowing, this knowledge, this wisdom, is because they're thinking about it on a surface level, on this materialistic level, that they're scared that they're going to lose all the things that they love. And I understand that. I do. I truly, truly do. But at the end of the day, there's nothing in this world that is worth doing that's going to tarnish my soul, my integrity, my morals, my ethics. I'm not going to hurt anybody. I would never, even if they were coming after me, I still wouldn't hurt them. I still wouldn't. And I know that a lot of people think that that's stupid. You deserve self-protection. You deserve to stand up for yourself and keep yourself alive. But I believe the God I believe in, the creator I believe in, has done that already for me multiple times. And I know that if it does happen, when it does happen, because we're all gonna die, when it does happen, it's for a purpose, it's for a reason. There's a lesson for someone, for everyone really, if they're willing to learn that lesson. And I think that my mouth is dry. I think that the reason why a lot of people are so scared to get involved with it is because they feel like they have to choose something. They have to choose a path and follow all those rules and do all those things. But the thing is, again, that God is everything. God is everything. God is every religion, spiritual path, dark, light, everything. Every single thing in this world is God, is the creator. And he sent it into that person for a reason. For people to learn lessons of humility, of morality, of humanity. That's the purpose. And the purpose is for us to all balance out. And the thing is that God is everything, right? So if we all balance out and we treat the world right and balance the world out, then God is in balance. And I don't know about y'all, but I want to see what the hell happens when that happens. And I probably won't, right? To be honest, like, who's gonna watch this and freaking think I can change the world? And I don't know. Maybe I won't. But fuck, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try because we deserve it. All of us. Even the worst people. Even the worst people in the world who's done the most egregious things. They don't want to be that way. People don't want to be terrible. People don't want to live in chaos and dysfunction. I know it seems that way. I know it seems that way. Even in my situation, where it literally feels like everyone is up against me. It literally feels like no matter what I do, I lose. I still have faith. I still believe that things can change. I still believe in healing this world. And I'm going to. One way or another, God's going to make it happen for me. I know that for a fact. And you know, after I predicted my miscarriage and didn't know about it, when I finally realized that's what happened, because I was so blind that I just hard-headed. I needed so much confirmation, so much reassurance. But because I had been so deceived and so manipulated and lied to, that I didn't even trust what my intuition was saying. I didn't even trust myself and the decisions I was making. I didn't trust God and what he was telling me. It was telling me whatever the fuck you want to say. The creator actually doesn't even have a name, because again, it's everything. So, and it's so funny because the ad litem put up a preliminary report saying that the dad's going to be able to choose, you know, their schooling and their spiritual beliefs and all that. And I said, you're not going to tell me what I can and can't teach my children. I don't care what spiritual path you pick. I can get down with it if it's good and honest and light and love. That's all I care about. That's why I pray, I meditate, I do different types of rituals, if you will, for myself. I'm not out here trying to manipulate anybody or do anything for anyone else. I read tarot cards for myself. I made these cards, and that's exactly what I was trying to get to. Oh, perfect. Thank you, Spirit. So I made these cards based off of numerology, because to me, that's the most basic thing anyone and everyone can get down with, because we all have to learn math. That's the basic structure of everything. And no matter what you put, no matter what names you put on it, if you add one thing plus another thing, it's going to equal the same thing if it's the same. It doesn't matter. You could put 2 plus 2 equals 4, but those 2 items plus those 2 items is going to equal those 4 items regardless, right? So to me, numbers, and I've always had a thing for numbers. At first I thought it was like this weird OCD thing. You know, I would always change the channel volume, or the TV volume or the radio volume, to make sure it was on an even number. Like, I would eat my food in evens, and like, weird but cool. Like, I don't even care. I think it's fun. I don't care. I'm not hurting nobody. But so I've always had a thing for numbers. And when all this stuff started happening, these angel numbers started happening, I truly felt like Jim Carrey in the movie Numbers. Like, I felt like I was going crazy. But I was so hard-headed to listen and like see the lessons, see the truth. And when I got to numerology, it kind of all clicked for me. And then I started researching about tarot and about where cartomancy started, and the oldest version of cards and the oldest games. And like, I just started doing so much research, and I realized that playing cards are literally no different than tarot cards. They just don't have all the spiritual stuff on it, so that people feel comfortable playing with them. And so, like, people who are like against the woo-woo or against God or against whatever religion, like, I realized that. I realized that that's the reason why so many people shy away from this, is because whatever it is, whatever direction is being shown to them, whatever path, spiritual path or belief system is being shown to them that they're rejecting, that's just not the way for them. They have to find their own way, and God's going to give it to them if they freaking listen. And that's the thing. Every single religion has been given to people to help them learn. If say, like, I don't want to use any hot topic people, like hot controversial areas. Say